Awesome here to give you another Monster Legends Guides, where we talk about monsters' moves, their kits, who to pair it up with, all that jazz. Today we are looking at Frostwrath. Uh, Alright, so there was a lot of okay, so I'm doing like it's weird because I haven't really posted the Roxen and I'm gonna post them. In all honesty, I'm actually gonna post them all at the same time. I'm gonna post the Frostwraith guide. I'm gonna post the Gorin guide. I'm gonna post the Roxen guide. I'm gonna post the Nixor guide. I'm gonna do the twins first, obviously. I'm gonna put the videos up for them first. But I'm basically uploading 4 guides today, on 4 monsters. Uh, Gorin, Frostwraith, and Gorin are part of the upcoming Dragon Maze event. Uh, and in all honesty, before I'm doing I like Gorin better than this guy, but I'm doing a video on this one first. So the Gorin guy's going to be immediately after the Frostwraith video. I'm doing the video on him first because there's a lot of controversy with this guy. There's a lot of arguments with this guy. Uh, I like to just kind of like put my input on it. People have been saying this guy isn't any better than Varuna. People have been saying he isn't any better than Frostbite. Well, to be all honest, Frostbite has better. Like it's true, Frostbite has better moves. But this thing is faster. Keep that in mind. This thing is faster. Um, and this thing is faster than Varuna too. This thing is actually faster by a few points of Cavenfish too. He's a little bit faster. Obviously, you can't freeze Cavenfish, but you can do stuff to the other enemies. And he has also stamina leak. He's got a lot of stamina leak. You'll see that in his kit. I'm gonna talk about just like his stats and moves first, and then I'm gonna get more into him. Just more opinion stuff and all that jazz. All right, so its power is 3,234. This power is not great. It doesn't matter anyway because his damage output's not great. He's not a damager. He's just solely denier. He's solely stamina related slash freezing. He has one AoE freeze and a single target freeze. That's about it. His main thing is stamina drain, and stamina regeneration, which is really neat. His life is 28,651. This is an okay life. I will say this: don't if you have if you like have a lot of deniers, just like straight up, if you have like a Thedes, if she's if she has a shit ton of levels in, if you have a Frostbite that has a lot of levels in, if you have a Varuna that has a lot of levels in, don't use this guy as a main denier. Just don't. Yeah, you already have to. You have a lot of deniers already. Slap a life rune on this thing. It could use the survivability, I believe. A life rune and 2 speed. I think the 2 speeds is all you need, especially if they're high level speed runes. And a life rune. If you have a really high life rune, give it to this guy. This guy could use the survivability. Even though this guy doesn't do any damage output, if he like survives, if he lasts longer than the enemy, eventually he'll win because he's drained he can drain stamina. His main thing you need to know is he needs to be out there for as long as he can, because he can drain stamina over time. He has the energy to do so. His only weakness really is he can actually. I'm going to talk about that in a bit here, but I'll mention up that weakness in a bit. His speed is 3,476. This is a really high speed. I don't know if it's any faster than Kalik. I don't believe so. We're gonna check that real quick. Alright, so that's not actually working. This is more so freezing. Okay, so that's the thing's not pulling up. But he is either slower or faster than Kalik. I don't know which is the real one, but uh, if he is slower, this is a good speed. I will say this is a really good speed. Uh, he's faster than Frostbite, keep in mind. He's also faster than Varuna. He's faster than Cavenfish, and he's also faster than Kalik. Obviously, you can't deny Cavenfish and Kalik. Immunity to freeze is in all honesty, I think immunity to freeze is the best trait to have. And sadly, this guy doesn't have immunity to freeze. You think this thing would have immunity to freeze since he's a frost dragon, like he's an ice dragon, but he has energized. Energized isn't. It gets like 20. Okay, so for some reason it's not. Okay, it's not doing anything right. I just gotta refresh the page here. All right. So I was just checking to make sure the thing was still on and stuff like that. All right. We could actually see if he is faster than Kalik. I don't think that would matter. Yeah, I don't think it might not matter too much because Kalik can actually just heal the freeze anyway. Plus she has stamina regen AoE, but that doesn't even matter either because he has a lot of stamina leak moves. Okay, so he is actually faster than Kalik too. He is a decently fast water monster. He's faster than most of the common stuff. Kalik might be able to counter this thing easily. Might not. Depends on the situation. If she, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say just complete counter. I'd say Kalik would be able to handle this thing. She'd be able to freeze it, keep it from moving, and then the other guys can deal with it. But in some situations, if you're running a life rune, that's not always the case. This is why I said you should run a life rune on it if you have a lot of denies to begin with. Alright, so its ultimate is Piercing Blizzard. This deals very heavy water damage to all enemies, may freeze all targets, removes 50% of stamina from all targets. It's his ultimate, so it requires no cooldown and it costs no energy, and it's 65 damage. Hey, so people have been calling this like, I'm pretty sure this is pretty much like Frostbite's ult. I'm pretty sure this is the same ult. Because I don't know if it actually takes all the stamina away. I think it's still 50% too. And I think like Frostbite even gives stamina back to his team or just himself. I don't know. But this is an alright move. I will say it's not any better. It is not better than Kalik's ult. Kalik's ult is amazing. It's like you know, it's a insta freeze. I mean, like it's a freeze. Plus, it removes all of the stamina. It doesn't take half of it. It takes all of it. It's a broken ult. It's one of the best ults in the game. It's a really broken ult. This is kind of a nerfed version of that. It's not bad. It's all right. It's not as good as the other. It's not as good as Kalik ult though. I will say it's not as good as Kalik, but it is a pretty good ult nonetheless. Since you're taking 50% of stamina away. It's not all the stamina, but it's 50%. Plus you're freezing. Plus you have two other monsters, and this guy has stamina leak too. Keep in mind this guy does stamina leak, so this is all right. Especially if you get this mid to late game. If you get this ult, they're not going to be able to move because you have a lot of stamina drain on him. This guy does stamina drain. This guy's very good at that. He has things to ensure that people do not like regen stamina at all. Alright, so we're gonna skip the first few moves as per usual. None of them are too great to note. If you do want to know, this thing is like almost. I don't think anybody's gonna really use this move, but almost 25%. You can combo this with an AOE to make it 50%. Well, it's like a 25 AOE for everything, but yeah, I don't know if people are gonna use this one much. Chilling Sap deals moderate special damage, removes 50% of stamina from target, requires cooldown. Slap this move on it, put this move on it. It's a really good move. It's, I don't know, granted it's single target, but it's removes 50%. It's always a great thing to do. It's not as good as like Nidana. She's like a jellyfish. She has a 0 turn cooldown, 50% stamina drain. It's not as good at that, but hey, it's a 50% stamina drain, and even though it's on 2 turn cooldown, it's still, again 50%. It's still great. And if you do full speed runes on it, it usually doesn't even matter that it's on a 2 turn cooldown, because if they move twice, then it'll be ready for them the next time. Obviously 2 turns in and stuff like that. So yeah, Cold Fusion deals low special damage to all enemies, applies stamina leak to all targets, applies stamina regenerations to all allies. It requires cooldown. Okay, this is a really good move. I will recommend you put this move on your any of the. Well, okay, this actually depends too. It depends on your preference. Do you want this guy to be really supportive, or do you want to be this just full-on deny? That's your choice with this monster. I'll get to that later, but for now, this is a good move. You might want to think about running this move, because it gives stamina regeneration to all allies. This is nice, it's neat, it's great. And it actually helps him too, because since he has Energize, he gets more out of his stamina regeneration, which is phenomenally great. It's just a really good, it's a good special attack. Plus, it does special damage. Even though the damage is, terrible, it does special damage, so like everything is going to be taking neutral damage from it. It's not too much. Again, the damage isn't really all that important because he's not a damage dealer. He's just more so a denier over time. It's all you really need to know about this guy. Arctic Crash. This deals moderate water damage. This is a 50% chance of freezing target, 50% chance of dazing target, requires cooldown. This is basically a nerfed version of one of Kalik's moves. I'm going to say don't run it. It's just 50% is terrible. Maybe if you had like I will say maybe if you had like something that gives precision, then you can go ahead and run this move. But if you don't have the precision up, this move isn't all that great. Uh, you need precision to make this like really effective. Uh, but if you do have precision, this might be an okay move to run because you get 50% more accuracy, so you get means you get 50% more percentage of landing, freezing, and dazing. Really. This isn't too good of a move to use on generals, or because they have the 35 thing, and they'll just take 35 of the new 50% off. It might or may not be something worth running. You might as well just run a solid freeze move. Which, speaking of course, Shivering Bite deals moderate water damage. This may freeze target, requires cooldown. It's on a 1-turn cooldown. I will say right in this move, this is one of his lower cooldown moves. You run this one, and also run, Chilling Sap too. You gotta run these two single target moves, or you can probably, I will say that you need to run these two moves. They're just two good single target attacks. They're pretty like common stuff. Icy Bolt deals low special damage to all enemies. Removes 25% from 25% stamina from all targets. Applies stamina link to all targets. Requires cooldown. This was the other move that was, this is pretty much your debate move, Icy Bolt or Cold Fusion. This is more so used for like advanced denying and stuff like that. This is why it's also good to just use him as a secondary like denier and stuff like that. He'd be really good as that. Because it's not 50%. Keep in mind, it's not a 50% stamina drain. It's not as good as Singularius's 50% stamina leak AoE, 50% stamina drain plus AoE. It's kind of a nerfed version of that too. This monster has a lot of nerfed moves. Just think of him like that. He has a lot of nerfed moves of monsters that already do this stuff. You should think of him like that. But he is decently fast. I will say that he is actually decently fast. Polar Beam deals low water damage to all enemies, may freeze to all targets, applies stamina link to all targets, requires cooldown. This is the other move this is another move you have to run. You have to run this move. It's his main AoE freeze, stamina link. It's a really good move. Run this move. So far I've said run Polar Beam, run Shivering Bite, and one Chilling Sap. Now, the last move is a coin toss between Icy Bolt or Cold Fusion from my end. This is a debate that you may choose wisely. If you do the stamina regen, I will like to say, if you do the stamina leak and energy regen, he'll be able to do more stuff. He'll be able to do more. Yeah, he'll be able to do more stuff. He'll be able to regen stuff faster. With this one, he's more so taking more stamina away. He gets his. I will say this. This will keep him more sustained in stamina. This will just make his job faster. This will make his job faster. It depends on what kind of one you're running. If you're running the deny one, you probably want Icy Bolt. If you're not, you might want to run Cold Fusion. And in all honesty, though, you could actually, if you're not too much of a fan on the Chilling Sap move, you can swap it for Arctic Crash. You can choose between these moves too if you wanted. I imagine people more so just running the 50% stamina drain without having to worry about precision and stuff like that. But if you wanted to swap between these two moves, you could do that. It's totally choice here. You got choices here. You will need precision though if you're running this move. If you do run this move, you need precision to make the freezing work. Freezing and dazing work. It's only ever better than Chilling Sap if you can actually hit the freezing and the dazing. So you need precision to make this move work. You need it. So this is like maybe if you're running if you're running a deny set, you might want to run this move just because it's a chance to freeze rather than daze. Maybe not. Maybe you just want to keep Chilling Sap. I would think Chilling Sap would be better. But whenever I use Kalik, I always like the 50%. I always like the freeze and the daze. That's always useful. It's always great. Totally. Again, it's by your choice. But these two moves are great. Or no, just this move is really well. Yeah, it's a choice again. One of your main debates really is Cold Fusion or Icy Bolt. It depends on which one you're building. Are you building the supportive one? If you're gonna do a secondary deny, run Cold Fusion. Gives stamina regeneration to all your monsters. It'll give more stamina back to your attacker and your denier. It's just a really good move. Yeah. But if you're running if you're running him as a main denier, run Icy Bolt. It just makes his job a lot more faster. By the time they actually move, 25% minus 15%, that's pretty much 40%. They've lost 40% at that point, I think. Yeah, they've lost 40%. They lost 40% at that point. All right, now we're gonna go with the next topic. This is a debate with like the community and stuff like that at the moment. I was reading the wiki chat. I always like to read the wiki chat to see what people say. Usually it's just boring shit like, "Oh, this guy's trash. This guy's useless," or "This guy's really great or awesome." And they compare him to another monster, or they compare him less than like Varna, for example. And the debate is this guy better than Varna? Is this guy better than Varna? Here's my input on it. If you're running around with if you're running around with an upgraded Varna, obviously the Varna is better. Obviously, it's going to be way better. People have if they actually did the event when they got, like, there were 2 events where people could get Varna cells. If they did that event, if they did do the cells and stuff like that, obviously Varna is going to be better. He's been out for a long time, and I'm pretty sure people are walking down with higher level of him. There's more common stuff like that. Obviously, he would be a better denier at that point. I will say for the common stuff though, let's say you're running the same speed runes. If it's just a deny war, if you're running the same speed runes, if you're running, the same stuff, in terms of just flat out deny, I think this guy wins. I think this guy is a better denier than Varna for quite a few reasons. Obviously, obviously he has no damage output. He doesn't have any life recovery. But if we're just talking about sheer deny, I think this guy wins. Just like, obviously, like, if it was a 1v1 fight, obviously his damage output wouldn't be high enough. He might be actually maybe late game. Maybe if you put a life rune on it, maybe he might actually sustain the Varna and stuff like that, because the Varna is going to run out of stamina. At some point, the Varna is going to run out of stamina. Keep that in mind. You have too much stamina drain on it, and stuff like that. He can remove stamina over time, which is why I think you guys should run a life rune on it. I think that would be the best idea. Is a life rune and do speeds. Make him a secondary denier. Don't make him a main denier. There's too many better main deniers. But I think in just terms of sheer deny, I think this guy wins. He has more stamina drain moves. He can give everyone stamina regeneration. Varna's not immune to freeze. People think he's one of the better deniers in the game, but he's not immune to freeze. He's not immune to freeze. That's a problem, because like all the other water monsters are faster than Varna. This guy is faster than Varna. I will say that. This guy will deny Varna a lot. He can do, again, he does the stamina drain. He has a 50% stamina drain. By the time Varna actually gets to move, he might actually just lose all of his stamina by the time he actually gets to move. Again, that's only if they're running the same speedruns. If they're both running at a level 100, I think maybe Frostwrath may win, because the Varna is not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to move. By the time he actually gets to move, though, he has to regen stamina. That's probably his ordeal, really. And this is if the Frostwrath is running the whole deny set. I think Frostwrath might win. I don't know. It depends. It depends, because he also has he also has a neutral damaging move and chilling sap. And he's got more stamina removal. He can freeze. He can do all that stuff. And keep in mind, this guy can freeze. Keep in mind, this thing can pretty much, if you do run Arctic Crash, he can actually you could possibly freeze someone in terms of just a single person. He can probably restrain them 3 times. He's really good at stamina drain and freezing. And Varna's not immune to freeze. That's another reason why Varna isn't all that. I mean, he's all right, but he's not he's not like amazingly broken. He's not he's not with the other freezing monsters. All the good freezing monsters are really like, on honesty, they're immune to freeze. They're immune to the stuff that the enemy will most likely have, with like Frostbite or like Cavern Fish. Well, not too, yeah, Frostbite, Cavern Fish. Obviously, like, he can like like the Frostbite can, like, obviously, like, stamina drain them, but again, he's slower than Cavern Fish. He's slower than Kalik. Frostbite has, well, maybe he might run the same speed as Kalik. But yeah, in terms of with Varuna and Frostwrath, if you're not running around with a higher level Varuna, this guy is better. This guy is, in all honesty, this guy's better. He doesn't have the better trade. He doesn't deal more damage than Varuna, but in terms of just straight up denying the enemy, this guy's way better. This guy's like, I think this guy's an updated Varuna, pretty much. People are, I don't know, I'm surprised, like, the Varuna players don't see just see how fast, like, he's faster than Varuna, like, he does more stamina drain than Varuna. Obviously, he doesn't, like, heal as much, but, it's a better Varuna. The only thing that he's not better in, again, the only thing that he is not better in is his energized trait. And, like, because Varuna has stun, and obviously his damage output, Varuna's damage output will obviously be better. This guy doesn't do any damage. That's the main thing too. This guy doesn't do any damage, and with deniers, you don't really. Again, you're looking this at a denying aspect. You don't look at the damage. You look at how fast it is and how good its moves is. And Frostwraith's moves are pretty great. They're really good at, like, stamina draining over time. That's really the point of this monster. You want this thing to be out there as long as possible. To, stamina drain and just, like, be a constant annoyance. So yeah, that's my input on the thing with Varuna versus Frostwraith. Obviously, if you have a higher level Varuna, it's better. But if you're running the same stuff, if it's running the same level, Frostwraith is better. He's faster than Varuna. Even though Varuna can stun him, that's the only thing. And he can freeze him too, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think Varuna would ever get a chance to do his shit though, because the Frostwraith would always stamina drain or freeze him and stuff like that. I think that's a thing. I think that's doable. It's just a constant, freeze. I do think this guy's better than Varuna. If they're running the same level, if they're running the same speed, that's my final input on it. He is better than Varuna. Now, here's the next thing. Would I use this guy as a main denier? In terms of Team Wars, no, I wouldn't. I would not do not use this guy as a main denier. Use him as a secondary denier. I've said this multiple times in the video, I'm sure. But use this guy as your secondary denier. You can give stamina regeneration back. I do think the secondary denier set would be better. The secondary set would be actually actually running the cold fusion and then just everything like the polar beam, shivering bite, and chilling sap. I think that's a alright set for it. You don't need to run that third. Yeah, I don't think you need to run the third speed rune. 2 speed runes fine, and a life. You want this guy to be there as long as possible. So if you shove a life rune on this, it's gonna be great. Do that. I'll probably do a few videos on it. But yeah, I think that's the better choice. I don't think the 3 speeds is necessary. You can run 3 speeds on it. I'm just saying he's not as good as a denier as all the other stuff. In fact, both him and Varuna are not any good than other deniers. They're not as good as Frostbite, in terms of just, like, moves in general. They're not as good as Thetis. Thetis is the queen of deniers. She's the queen of deniers. She's in every team comp, pretty much, in PvP. If you go, like, scrolling through the things and stuff like that, everyone has a Thetis. Everybody uses stamina drain, stamina devours. It's just, that's the way it is. She's the queen of the deniers. She's the queen. That's always the end of it. That's always the beginning of it. She probably shares that place with Kalik too. But more often than not, Thetis just is too common of a monster. She's just too powerful. So yeah, this monster isn't any better than them. Like, like the things that have like Cavenfish is better. Kalik is better. But in terms of just Varna and him, Frostwrath is better. In terms of equal power, that is. In terms of equal power, obviously Varna with higher level revival is better. So yeah, I will say run the supportive set, run a life and 2 speed. He doesn't need to be a whole lot fast. He shouldn't be used as the main denier. He can be, but only ever use. Oh, okay, I will say this: only ever use him in the main denier in situations where he is faster than the defending water monster. He is faster than quite a few water monsters, and he might be able to duke them out if they can, restrain them and stuff like that. If he is faster, he can get his stuff done. He can restrain the enemy water monster pretty well. He can do that. Obviously, if he moves, if they move first, he's done for because he doesn't have immune to freeze, which isn't all too great. So it can be repeatedly frozen. I already talked about the moves. I already talked about the runes. Partners. Another denier. Run this guy with another denier. And the attacker should be obviously anything. I think with the attacker it can be pretty much anything. Maybe a healer, maybe to keep Frostwrath out there. Maybe like maybe arcade. I will say maybe like another stamina drainer like Blob. If you have Blob, maybe you can do more stamina drain and stuff like that. Or this guy would probably run well with Singularius. With the 4-turn death thing, he could probably drain all the stamina alongside Singularius. Yeah, you can use any again with the attacker. You can do pretty much anything. 2 deniers is a strong thing. Yeah, and that's all I really need to say about Frostwrath, I do believe. If you have any other concerns / questions, or you want to wonder why, or you think Varna is truly better than Frostwrath, go ahead and put it in the comments below. All opinions are free, and opinions are free in the comments about it. I will say just don't hate on opinions. I will say this: do not rage. If you feel really strongly about it, just don't rage. It's just an opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. Don't rage about it. But yeah, it's just you can disagree with. Go ahead and disagree with me if you think Varna's just way better. Just in overall, it's fine. Just don't rage about it. There's no point in raging about it because neither of them are as good as the other deniers in the game. There's no point to rage about it. You can go ahead and list your reasons why he's better. Go ahead and list what's your guys' most favorite dragon in this upcoming event. Go ahead and say that. I would be interested in knowing. Mine is Goran. I can't wait to do the guide on Goran, which is going to be done immediately after this. And I do believe that's all I need to be said. That's all that really needs to be said. I'm DibtheAwesome. I'll catch you guys later.